What's up, it's Austin Rutherford. Have you ever bought a house just off of pictures? And not like 100 pictures, but like 10 or 15 pictures. This house, that's what I did. It was very competitive. We ended up buying this property from a wholesaler. And from the time I got the deal to the time I put it under contract, it was like a 10 to 15 minute period. I clicked through like 15 pictures and made the decision to buy the property. So this is my first time personally walking this house. So I'm gonna walk you through the property. It's actually fully renovated now. So I'm gonna show you the end product and I'm gonna tell you the numbers and my thought process to be able to pull the trigger very, very quickly. So let's take a look at the property. So walking through here, it is finished. We're doing a final punch on the property. So the things that I noticed when I first walk into the house is the windows are extremely dirty. So I wanted to get the windows cleaned up so when a buyer walks into this property, they understand they have good feelings about doing it, not like everything was left dirty. The next thing is this fireplace. Literally just walking in, it's extremely dusty and extremely dirty. So we got to get that cleaned up as well, just so when a buyer comes in, it feels like it's their home. As far as the renovation goes, we painted the walls, painted the ceilings, put in new LVT flooring, luxury vinyl tile flooring. And if we go down this way, it's a 3-bed, 1 bath. And if we look in the bathroom here, part of the punch is we didn't like the mirror. So we're getting the mirror and the light replaced to make it, again, look just a little bit nicer. Better than like a basic rental grade property, you know, basically a high-end property. Did new tile surround, light fixtures, vanities, all that good stuff. So that is the 1 bathroom that we have here. And then we have 3 bedrooms. All 3 of the bedrooms are basically the same. Again, painted the walls, put LVT flooring in the whole house. So basically when we renovate rental properties, we do LVT in the entire house because it's less money for us to spend when a tenant moves out because the carpet's damaged. But that's usually what we do on rental properties. We do LVT everywhere. In this house, we did LVT everywhere, even though we're flipping this house and selling it. LVT is more expensive than carpet. So we should have done carpet on this property. So, you know, I don't know why, but we ended up spending a little bit more money than we probably needed to, maybe $500 or $1,000 more. So lesson learned on that for sure. But paint, flooring, replace some of the broken doors, and then put in black doorknobs and black light fixtures. So super modern, white, gray, and black all the way around. We're in Ohio, by the way. Luckily, it's been like 60-ish degrees, but we do not have heat in here. So if you look at the thermostat, it's not even turned on because we don't have gas. And gas is what gives heat to the property. And the Columbia Gas just came today and gave us a house line leak detected. Cannot turn gas on. So got to get contractors back out here to fix the leak in the gas line so Columbia Gas can come back out, turn the gas on, and have heat in this property. So we cannot list this property, obviously, until some of the work is done, but we definitely cannot list it until we have heat in this property. And one other thing, we also do not have water. No water in the property either. So we renovated the entire property without water, and nobody said, hey, by the way, you don't have water at the property. So we got to get the water turned on as well. So utilities are very important, electric, gas, and water. But as far as the kitchen goes, you know, if you watch all my videos, they're basically all the same. So we don't overcomplicate the process. You know, we renovate it to today's standards, which is granite countertops, white cabinets, and then stainless steel appliances. The appliances are not here. If you're renovating houses right now, getting appliances is extremely difficult with the COVID, the pandemic, and the supply chain issues because there's just a lot of problems getting any sort of materials, especially appliances. But overall, kitchen, very simple. White cabinets, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances. And here, since it was very limited cabinet space, we ended up putting an island in to have more drawer space and to have more seating space. So sometimes you got to add a little bit just to make sure that you can actually sell this property for what you want to sell it for. So again, in Ohio, the biggest telltale is the basement. Let's look at the basement. So the basement always makes or breaks deals, always, because you got foundation, water, utilities, mechanicals, all that stuff. So my biggest fear buying this property, like I said, only with seeing 15 pictures, was the basement. There was only 1 picture of the basement. Maybe two pictures, but my fear is like having foundation issues. Foundation issues can be extremely expensive, in the tens of thousands of dollars to fix. So I looked at those 2 pictures and saw as much as I could and analyzed those pictures as much as possible in hopes that the rest of the basement looked just like that. Now there's a risk buying properties without seeing the entire house because there can obviously be something else wrong that you can't see from a limited amount of pictures. But I knew that this budget was, pretty simple. It was a very simple renovation. It was a cosmetic renovation. And, I pulled the trigger on it. I wanted another deal. Numbers look good. Worst case scenario, I got to spend an extra $10,000 on the rehab, on the foundation that I didn't plan for. So my profit margin of, let's say, $25,000, $30,000 gets cut to $15,000 or $20,000. So I'm not sitting here to, arguing if I'm losing money or making money. I'm arguing between making 30 grand or 20 grand. I'm okay with that. I'm okay understanding that because I'm playing the game of volume, right? I want to do more deals to make more money. And if I make $1,000, $5,000 less than what I wanted to, or $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 more than I wanted to, it's all going to equal out at the end. So down here, thankfully, if you look at all these walls around, there's no cracks. So usually like right here, you would see a crack start opening, which means that the wall is going this way into this way. And that's when it becomes a problem, when it starts bending. Luckily, the entire basement, there's nothing like that. So down here too, we painted the walls, freshen it up a little bit. We painted the floors to freshen it up a little bit. And we painted the ceiling to freshen it up a little bit. So this is me sending pictures to my team to get this property updated. So we need the windows cleaned. We need the fireplace cleaned. There's a fence out back that's broken, that just looks terrible. We need that replaced. These doors, cabinets, those switches right there do not open, so we gotta open those. There's not a kick plate. Let me show you this. There's not a kick plate on the dishwasher, so we gotta put that in. There's also a gap in the cabinets, so we gotta fix those as well. And then this is the hot water tank. This piece right here needs connected to the hot water tank, so that needs connected. So all those things are things that we need to get fixed to get this property to market value, to be able to list this and sell this for what we want it to be able to sell it for. So there's still another half of the basement. Let's walk over here. Hope that there's no foundation issues here as well. I'm assuming there's not, because we're getting ready to list this bad boy. And we walk over here. There's no foundation problems. There's no cracks in the walls. But one more thing that I see here, which is the same issue we had over there with the hot water tank, it's not connected. So what happens with that is carbon monoxide, which can kill people by the way, goes outside, but if it's not connected, it's going inside. So we need to have these connected to get all that bad stuff outside of the property. So as you can see from walking through, there's nothing crazy that needed done to this house, thankfully, because again, when you buy properties with very limited amount of pictures, there's a lot of risk that comes with that. So if you're brand new to real estate, I would not recommend buying properties basically sight unseen. I would try to walk the houses if you can, if you're local, to try and see as much as possible to get a better understanding of how construction works. So one last thing on this, if you look at the roof up there, our hopes is definitely an older roof. The problem with roofs is you never know the exact age that a roof is. And our hope is that we can sell this without having to do the roof. Now, if we get into this and it starts leaking and stuff, then we're gonna have to spend probably $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 on replacing the roof. Fingers crossed we don't need it. It still has a few more years on it. At least that's what we're hoping for. So the final numbers that came down on this deal, I ended up buying it for $101,000. And our budget going into this for the rehab was $30,000. So we had a little bit of a contingency on that as well. So I'm curious to see what we ended up being at this. So we'll probably be done with this in the next 2 or 3 days, and we'll get a final budget on it. Hopefully we're close to $30,000. And we think the ARV is like $185,000 to $190,000 in this market. We're hoping that it goes even higher than that. But that's just icing on the cake. So at the end of the day, once it's all said and done, when we pay our lenders and our private money lenders and our realtors and our closing costs and all the above, we're hoping that we will walk away with like $25,000 to $30,000 in net profit. So after paying everybody else off, that's what we're hoping that we personally walk away with in our own pocket. So when buying houses, if you're new, do all your due diligence, please, because there is risk with this. If you're already in the game, sometimes you got to take a little bit more risk, sometimes, to buy more property. So if you like this, comment below. Let me know if you would have done anything differently on the renovation. This is what we do every time. The gray walls, the white paint, all the kitchens and bathrooms are pretty much the same. So let me know if you would do anything differently. While you're down there, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Hit that subscribe and notification bell so you can get all this content going forward. As always, appreciate you being here. We'll see you on the next one.